Welcome to another episode of our show, Storytime with Becky. Today we're going to be talking about a story when Jesus walked on the water. So as we know, Jesus is now on earth, and he's talking and praying to all these people that meet him, and he's doing wonderful miracles, and he's telling wonderful stories so that the people learn lessons from them. And after a very long day of performing miracles and telling stories, Jesus told his disciples to go fetch the boat so they can go on the other side of the land. Jesus said, "You go ahead and I'll meet up with you later. I'm going to go at the top of this mountain and I'm going to pray." Now remember, Jesus needed to pray too because he was performing miracles and he was telling stories. He needed to be close to God. He needed to be strong in the faith so that no temptation could cross his way and that God would speak through him. When he was finished praying, he saw that the wind was so harsh and it pushed the boat farther than he expected. He looked up and he saw that a storm was coming. He knew the disciples would be afraid, so he knew he had to go to them quickly. Meanwhile on the boat, the disciples saw the wind swooshing and the waves crashing the boat, and the boat was tossing everywhere. The disciples were wondering, where is Jesus? Where is Jesus? And then they saw a figure out by the water. Jesus knew, okay, I have to get to them quick, but what should I do? Mind you, this is Jesus. He can jump over the water if he wanted to. He could swim across the sea if he wanted to. He could even fly if he wanted to. But he decided to take this opportunity to teach the disciples a lesson. So he put his foot on the water and he slowly began to walk on the water in the middle of a storm. The disciples saw him coming towards the boat and they couldn't believe it. They asked each other, "Who is that? Is that a ghost? Who else could it be? It couldn't possibly be a human being. No human being could walk on water." And then they saw a figure that looked like Jesus, and they were shocked. Then Peter said, "Lord, if that's really you, call me to come out to you on the water." And Jesus replied, "Come." Peter stepped out on the boat, and he had his legs dangling over the boat and looked out at the water and put his feet on the water, and he could stand. He then kept his eyes on Jesus and started walking towards him. But then he noticed that the wind was so powerful and the waves were crashing so hard, so close to him. And he took his eyes off of God, and that's when he began to sink. He began to sink and he cried out, "Jesus, please save me. Help me get out of the water." Jesus pulled him out of the water and he asked him, "Peter, why don't you trust me? Why do you doubt me?" Peter thought to himself, I do trust Jesus, and I did trust that he would save me and that he would get me across the water safely. But when I took my eyes off of him, I didn't even remember that anymore. All I saw was the wind and the waves and the lightning and the thunder, and the sound was so scary. I didn't remember Jesus' love for me. He put Peter on the boat then, and as soon as Jesus got on the boat, the water was calm, and there was not another toss of wave in the whole water. And the waves weren't bad anymore, and there was no more thunder, no more lightning, and they weren't afraid anymore. That's when the disciples knew, and they said, "Jesus, truly you are the Son of God, because no one else could do this." In this lesson, we can learn to keep our eyes on Jesus, even in the middle of the toughest storms we face, and we will always be safe. Tonight, let's pray to God that he continues to watch over us and continues to be with us through any storm we face, and that we may always keep faith and know that he will save us.
But a storm was blowing in, and Jesus saw they were in danger.
courage. It's me. Don't be afraid.
Lord, if it's really you, command me to come to you on the water.
Come on.
But as Peter realized that he was walking on water, his faith left him.
Lord, save me!
Why did you doubt?
Thank you for watching another episode of Storytime with Becky. Have a good night, sweet dreams, and I'll see you next time.